Now, rhythm changes are often heralded as something you just need to know how to play over as a jazz musician. Problem is, there's so many chords, it's very easy to get overwhelmed with option paralysis and not say anything at all. In today's lesson, we're going to focus on soloing over the A section to I've Got Rhythm or the Rhythm Changes chords. And I'm going to show you 3 ways you can work with this. 3 levels to this. Level 1, we're going to cut through those busy changes by simply using the blues scale and focusing on our phrasing. Level 2, we're going to play by key center. And finally, level 3, we're going to get into those chords, get into those chord tones to say something over them. First off, if you don't know the chords to the rhythm changes, then that's where you need to go first. My previous video, previous lessons on that, I'll link that in the description. Blues scale then. So the B flat blues scale we're going to use over this A section goes like follows, and I'll put this on the screen. Anything you see, by the way, on the screen is available on my website as a PDF. Link in the description. It's just your minor pentatonic with an added flat 5. That note. That note. So that's our bluesy sound we're going to use. And if I use that on that A section, I'm going to focus on creating melodies with it, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Try that again. So as you can see, it might be occasionally a little bit dissonant with the chords occasionally, but I think if you strongly phrase things, it can work really well, and it's quite easy to hear this scale. Especially if you played blues before, you know. Things like that, you know. I'm thinking of phrases and singing them and hearing them. Just knowing the possibilities of what you can do with it and starting to gradually expand what you can hear with it. You can start with very simple phrases, call and response. So that type of thing, if you like. Simple ideas work well, you know, this sort of thing, and I think it cuts through those changes. As I've said, I'm not thinking of the chord changes, I'm thinking of a melody. Obviously I'm aware of the sound of the chord changes, and you know, hopefully I can hear when I play a dissonant note against it. Maybe some notes aren't as favourable at certain points, but it's just to simplify things for now. That approach will take you a little way. You'll want to get into the chords a little more than that though. It's doing the changes a bit of a disservice just to use the blues scale, I feel, but you can definitely, you know, make a start with that. And then the next thing is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add in a couple notes. So this is what I call a note pool approach. So we've got the blues scale. On the G string, we're going to add in the note D there, and then on the B string, we're going to add in the note G there, and then on the E string, we're going to add the note C in there. So it gives us this kind of hybrid scale. I mean, this is really the thing when it comes down to soloing. You know, I don't tend to think in scales or things. It's not to say they're not helpful as a start point. In the long run, you learn the different possibilities and the sounds of those possibilities. You can call upon anything you like. That's what I think happens in the long run. But I think this kind of approach can be really useful because it's very specific, and you can just, you know, work with what you got and create little melodies and little ideas. So let's try that little pool instead. So we've gained D, which is the third of the key we're in. So that's an important note we were missing. That's, I think, you know, why occasionally we had this D flat against the key and it sounded a bit dissonant. So gives the potential to go, which is D flat or C sharp to D, minor third to major third to root, very bluesy thing. G is the sixth of the key, so a nice sweet sounding note to add in, and C is the ninth, so a nice sounding interval. And again, so another go with that. I think that works. I think we're still kind of in the realm of it's possibly a bit too bluesy, but I think that, you know, it still works as a nice sort of different feel you can get over a tune like this. So, you know, certain notes are key. You know, B flat's obviously a key note because it's the key we're in. Obviously, there is some, for me, it's unconsciously happening, like I'm targeting certain notes because they fit the chords at that time. For me, it's just about can you hear a melody over that? That type of thing, you know. If you can then try and play that, you're then going to create melodies over the top and not be just stuck in, okay, I've got, you know, you can't just ramble with this. You can't just go, okay, I wasn't doing that. I was playing with intention and trying to create melody, and that's what I say you should try to do. It boils down to this always for me. It's all sounds. I don't think this rigidly when I'm soloing. The arpeggios and scales are all sounds which I've practiced a hell of a lot to the point where I don't think about them, and that's where you know, that's where the hard work lies. And then when it comes to actually soloing, if you're playing with a group or just jamming with a friend or playing over a backing track, in terms of application, you just want to think about melody. Step 2 is playing by key, and this is really where you kind of you group chords together and apply a blanket sort of scale where you can. So, you know, I'm going to use this. I'm going to go. So what I did there is, yes, I am just playing scales up and down, and it's very boring to listen to, but it's good to get that sort of outline and the sound of the harmonic movement in your ears. So what I did, first 2 chords from the key center, we could play B flat major, I went up. Then the next 2 chords was C minor to F7. Now they're both in B flat, so we could stick with the B flat, or if we wanted to be a little bit more specific to what's going on, I went with the mixed Lydian. F mixed Lydian to fit that F chord. Wherever there's a 2 and a 5, the 5 chord is more important than the 2. Sometimes I just ignore the 2 altogether. And then when the 2 and the 5 goes up to D minor 7 to G7, G mixed Lydian, which is the mode related to G7, then back to F mixed Lydian again. So that gives us B flat up, F up, G mix up, F mix up, and here B flat mixed Lydian to get that change to the dominant. Then you could do a few things here, but try E flat mixed Lydian, B flat mixed Lydian, sorry, major, and back. That is a good start point just to be able to hear the possibilities of those notes over those chords, but it is a complicated way to play over things, and it's about sort of hearing things. And to stop this approach being so complicated, things I like doing, play the first 3 notes of each one. So da 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 da. You know, working with 3 notes. Five notes. But then, you know, try and be more melodic. And to start with, you can play the 3 notes in order like this. Do da da, 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 do da da do. Then descending, do da do, do da da, da da da, da 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 da, da da do do, da da do do, do da do 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 do. And then maybe the 5 up in order. Do da da do da, da 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 da, da 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 da, down, da 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 da, do da da do da, da 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 do da, do da da do da da do da do. As you can probably hear by sort of playing by key center, what we're able to do is to get into those chords a little bit more because we're more specifically playing to the changes than that sort of blanket scale approach we had with the first way. Level 3 is to get into these chords, so chord tone soloing. And now this starts with just, do you know the notes in those chords? Do you know what the third of a B flat chord is, the third of an F chord is? Because you really want to know what those things are. So I wouldn't work with the whole thing at this point. Maybe if we just take first 4 bars. So that would be B flat major 7, G minor 7, C minor 7, F7, D minor 7, G7, C minor 7, F7. Wow. Whoa, a lot of chords there. But, you know, that would be... I just be able to find the notes in order first. And then maybe find closer moves. That sort of thing. At this point, playing out of time is very helpful, but like sometimes just sort of take the first 2 changes even. B flat major 7, G minor 7. Like if I finish on A, so if I play the arpeggio in order B flat D F A, where does it lead me for G? Well, I could go down to the G there, a tone. I could even chromatically fill. Then I got the option of going up the arpeggio, the next one, or down. Like that. When I get to the A, I could go up a semitone to the B flat, which is the third of the G. Landing on the C. You know, you want to get to that point where you can easily go, this is like an arpeggio line. That type of thing. And you can try and find just the thirds and the sevenths. That's a good thing to do. And after a while, you'll realise the notes which sound important and need coming out at certain points and sort of voice leading and guide tones, if you like. So just to summarise, we had, you know, the bluesy soloing, sort of simple cutting through call and response phrases. Then we had the scale kind of outline and working towards hearing ideas with those that follow the changes. And finally, really getting down to the nitty gritty of finding the chord tones. And as ever, it's, you know, put that chord down, you need to be able to go in so many ways. If you're new here, my name's Andy. I do jazz guitar lessons every Wednesday, every Saturday. And all the resources are available on my website. Check the link in the description. There's also information there about the Jazz Guitar with Andy Facebook group and also my Buy Me a Coffee page if you'd like to say thanks for today's lesson. Anyway, hope you're all doing well with your practice. Leave me a comment if you've got any questions below, and I'll see you next time.